Hello there folks and welcome to the third session of the British Open final in World Snooker Championship 2004. Today is part 23 of our Rookie to Champion adventure on the aforementioned game, World Snooker Championship 2004. Now, in the previous episodes we've played 7 frames, we played 4 frames last time, which we actually managed to draw. Did we draw all we... actually, I think we drew that, 2 each. And then in the previous session of just 3 frames, we managed to beat Robin Macallum 2-1. So that leads us to the predicament that we're in today. We are 4-3 up. The same amount of frames is the lead that we had at the start of the last episode. So no real progress made. And I think it's fair to say that neither player has found any consistency so far. Usually by 7 frames in, there's a player you'd tip to do something, but it's a really close final, and that isn't because either of us have played well. It's purely because, to be honest, both of us have been very, very poor, and to be honest, I haven't been able to pot 2 shots in a row on most occasions. So we're going to try and get rid of that today. I'm going to try and get rid of that mentality and try and do something, and I see a pot on here that really I shouldn't take after saying that probably 10 seconds ago, but it looks fine to me. It can get it down straight down the table, and hopefully there's decent position on a blue. It's a tricky one, mind. These always don't go for you, but on that occasion it has. And the blue or the pink might go here, although I think just for the safety of making sure we stay on the table for a bit, it probably would be best just to go for this blue. Not too hard, but with a bit of top, so hopefully it'll come straight up and back down the table. Fingers crossed. But if not, it's not the worst start to the frame in the world. There we go, decent shot. Although it's not really where it was planned to be. Again, I think it needed to be hit a lot harder there. But nonetheless, we can play a safety shot here. Play a bit of a shot to nothing, actually. Try and get a pot, but we missed the colours anyway. Of course, that will lead to having to hit this quite hard to get it back round the table. But if we don't pot this red, I don't see much problem. Theoretically, it should end up about where we are now, if the power is right. But there we go. We fluked that one.
That's perfect.
Definitely fluked that one. There was no attempt, but we just played with a bit of chance there, a bit of nothing stupid. I mean, you know, if it had stayed there, would any reds been on? Possibly. That red here might have been on, but would Robin Macallum have gone for that? I very much doubt it. But of course, because we've stayed on, we can now go for a colour. But in the interest of being conservative, I was thinking of going for the yellow there. But the blue should be fine. Now, I don't want to hit this too hard. Just to bear in mind, of course, that we want to get on these reds. So we're going to not hit it too hard, but put a lot of top on it. So that increases the power that the cue ball will have. Not necessarily that the object ball will have, but what the cue ball will have. And there we go, that's dropped, and we've managed to divide up the reds a little bit, so that's quite good. And we've got a few options here as to what we'll take on, but we'll take on this red. That seems sensible enough to me. And already we're playing with a little bit of sense, but as it always has been, I feel, with this this game and this career, this Rookie to Champion career mode, it's always a case of trying to build these 10, 20, 30 breaks into 30, 40, 50, 60 breaks and winning the frame. Not in one visit necessarily, I don't think we're good enough for that yet, unless we fluked one. But making sure that we get a good enough break to make sure that the likes of Robin have to really fight hard to try and stay in the frame. So that's what we want to do. We want to not necessarily scare Robin Macallum, but just make sure that he knows, you know, look, we are the business, we can do something here. And this isn't the worst start to a frame, considering the way we've been in the last few games. The last few frames, beg your pardon there, folks. That was quite a hard shot. Again, it separates the reds up. I wonder if there's a way through to the blue still, because that's probably the shot of choice. I can't see anything else going particularly easy here, but once again, the blue's on, and we're on quite a good break here, but we just need to not do what we tend to do and get all excited just because we made a half-decent break. This isn't going to go in, is it? Oh, no, it is. That's a good shot. No, we can't get too excited and do what we usually do and play a bit of a silly shot, because if it doesn't go in, oh, well. But, again, this is a good plan. Play a little bit of screw back. Again, if we played it straight, we'd have to be very lucky to land on the pink, so try and give it where the table will reward you, and that's exactly what we've done there. blue again, I think, here. It's not the easiest of shots, but it's one I quite like, so we might as well take it on again. Not too hard, because you can be punished sometimes for hitting the ball too hard, but that might not be in. No, it's not. Well, I said I was good at those shots, but fortunately we've left nothing easy on, but he's missed it. Well, I really sped that up a little bit too much. I'll just let you watch this one on the replay, if I can get to it. I didn't think he'd pot it, to be honest. I didn't really see that red that was out. But nonetheless, he didn't pot it. That was a bit of an odd one. It was a trickier shot than it seemed, but really he should have potted that, and alas, he failed. So we've either got that red. There's no way for it, pardon me, to that red. Ooh, does this one go? No, I don't think it does. So there's no point playing that. We'll just have to hit this one very thin. Does it go, though? No, I don't think it does. So I think top pocket's the choice for this red. It's a trickier shot than it looks, but we want to make sure that we get the positioning right as well. Once again, the policy of this game has been not to hit it too hard. Get a bit of screw back on it. Hopefully end up in a decent position. If it doesn't go in, well, it doesn't go in, but at least we've tried and not got for anything stupid. There we go, straight in the heart of the pocket. And this blue should be really a mere formality. Of course, we need 9 frames to win this match. If we can pick up this frame, I need to be careful. I'm doing exactly what I've told myself not to do just. But if we can pick up this frame, then we could be 4 frames away from winning, and that's a very nice position to be in with only 8 frames gone. Red near the pink does seem an obvious shot, but I fancy this one, although... no, I think I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go with my gut here. Again, it's not an easy shot, but it might just go. But this does leave a few reds on if we miss it, so it's a little bit risky. There we go, it's dropped. Now, does the pink go here? I don't think it does. It does, actually. It's not touching. No, it's not touching the red. But I don't know whether to go for it. It's a little bit of a risk. Just in case it doesn't go in. But I'll take a risk here. A little bit harder just so it gets to the pocket. But I think I've positioned this fine in terms of the pot. I think.
13.
There we go. That's dropped. Lovely. I think there should be another red on here with this one. Gonna have to be quite hard here, I would say, just to get it back to a position where we can pot a colour. There you go. The ball's dropped. And that's not too bad in terms of position. I think we're on the blue once again. We like this blue, don't we? This is where things start to get a little bit complicated, though, now, in this break. Well, it's not a break anymore, unfortunately, because we did miss that shot, of course. But in this frame, in terms of total scoring, then, this should be another 5 points right in the heart of the pocket there. Good stuff. And another probably middle pocket to go for, I'd say, here, unless we play this one along the cushion, but that won't go. So it's going to have to be, really, this one into the middle pocket, unless I've missed something obvious. I mean, that one could go, but I think it's touching ball, so the other red even, so we'll go for this one. Once again, it's not the easiest shot in the world, but we'll play it. A little bit more that way, yeah. Okay, I'm happy with that. Once again, if it doesn't go, well, we've been a bit unlucky, but I think, honestly, a 44 would be enough to... oh, there we go. Well, it's 45 now. A 44 would probably be enough to shrug off Robin Macallum. Now, there's this brown we can play, which doesn't look too bad of a shot. There's the blue, again, but that's got a little bit of uncertainty about it. So is this brown, but I feel like this isn't a bad shot. We could play safe at this point and just try and put it up behind the brown, but is there really much point? I don't think so. Because we only lengthened the frame, and to be honest, I feel like there's no real way for him to come back here, but we might be well off, and we are a little bit off. We're a little bit off in our judgment there, but once again, we've left nothing on. Of course, we haven't snookered him, but there's no pot on. See what he plays here. Very rare shot for Macallum in this frame, but that's not too bad for him. Going to try and play this one down the cushion. It's not going to hurt, is it? You know, we've got that cushion now. Beg you, pardon the pun. But we have got this cushion in this frame now, so this doesn't drop. There's not really much worry about that, and it hasn't. But well, he will get the point here. John's already said it's in the final, so I'll talk over Virgo here, but he will get a point here. We won't be able to get all the points in this frame. It's a little bit of a shame, but you know, the scorecard at the end doesn't show how many points each player got in each frame. Ultimately, it's who wins the frames, and unless Robin Macallum makes a good break like we did at the start, I don't really see him coming back in this frame. That's a nice black. The reds are a problem though here, but if you can manufacture a pot here, I will be impressed. I think that should go though without touching the other balls, so yeah, I think he's fine. And that's dropped. And now he's separated the reds, but funnily enough there's like a guard of honour being formed against the black. So it's going to have to be one of the lower colours, which really limits how far this break can go. But he's not going for that, of course. I should have learned that earlier. He wasn't going for the pot, of course. He was going just for the safety. Again, I think a bit of a shot to nothing from us here. If there's pots, it's beautiful. But if not, we should get back up to bulk. Oh, we weren't... Well, we just hit it too thick there. And we do let Robin Macallum back in. You know, we're trying to cut out these mistakes, and that wasn't the best way to do it. But he's somehow managed to wriggle his way back onto the black, which I don't think we've potted once yet. So, ooh, blimey, that could have very nearly gone in. But he's got 3 reds here, unless he does something quite amazing. I don't see him potting any of them.
Very good shot indeed.
Well, that one's dropped, fair enough.
Tremendous shot.
But he's got to play one of the high colours really here, or else he's risking having to clear up the whole table to win this frame. And to be honest, given the records of both of us, I doubt either of us would be able to do that. And he's missed the blue, but not a bad position actually. If we can just focus and get this red on the cushion into this pocket and potentially get the black, then it is frame over. There you go, that's dropped. So we might as well take the blue, because that's an easy enough pot. It's pretty much straight on, so we can have the security of knowing that will go. Trying to make sure we obviously don't pot the cue ball. That would be a sensible thing to do. Might as well just play... no, we've got to play screw back, haven't we? Yeah. But just enough so that it deflects from the other pocket. But this should be fine in terms of the blue. Just want to make sure we don't snooker ourselves here. Oh, we've missed the blue. Well, it was a bit of a risk to go for. Certainly with no overhead camera. But a little bit unfortunate there. And of course he's gone for the snooker, which he hasn't got. And we might as well try and take the red. Again, it's not the easiest of shots, but we'll try for it. Pretty straight along the cushion, I think, is what we're looking for here. I don't think it's going to drop. I'm not very good at these shots, and alas, it hasn't. But once again, he has got to pretty much clear up the table to win this frame. It's a bit of a shame, really, because our good work that I think we did early on in the frame is kind of being undone a little bit here. But if he takes the pink, I would guess he'd take the pink. He's taking the yellow. That doesn't really make much sense, apart from positionally. If he takes the yellow, he needs every ball on the table to win the frame. And if he does it from here, well, fair play to him. There we go. He's potted it. Now onto the green. He's potted the green. Brown should come quite easily. Luckily for him, they're all in quite good position, these balls are here. So, even though he was nowhere near in it earlier on in the frame, he could do this. He's certainly going to get the blue. But of course, he still needs both balls. And if we take one of the remaining balls, we do extend our lead to 2. But he's put himself in really poor position here for this pink. But I think he'll cover himself. He won't be silly here. He'll just try and play a safety. Unless he is being silly. And that is exactly what he's been. But it's not an easy shot here. But we can take the risk of not needing to be on the black positionally. Because if we pot this, then we've won the frame. Oh, well, what was that? I'll call it a safety, shall I? I said it was a tricky pot. Well, goodness knows what he's tried to play there. And this should be a conclusive pot. No need to hit it hard like we did last time. Just make sure we cover ourselves. And the pink has gone in. We're going to call the frame there just to get it over with. But we restore our 2-frame lead. And we are now 5-3 up in this final of the British Open. Good start. Now it's our turn to break in the 9th frame. Don't need to mention, of course, now that we only need 4 more frames to become the British Open champion. I'll call it the British Open. I'll call it the British Open of Artificial Intelligence, shall I? I mean, that was quite a poor break, wasn't it? The British Open final of Artificial Intelligence and Toby Jones. Well, artificial players, never mind intelligence, blimey. But I can fall into that gang. Good red from Macallum there, but not really on anything in terms of the high colours. The blue could go, but whether he'll get that is of debate. Pretty straight pot though. No, he's missed the blue by a mile. Go on, go on, go on, go on. Well, he's actually, really unfortunately for him, just hit the reds and possibly left a pot on here. Oh, I don't think he has though, has he? Hello. Hello. I'm going to go for this. It's going to be tight, but I think it will go, this red. And this will help, hopefully, to split and develop the rest of the reds if it goes. This could be a genius move. But it didn't develop any of the reds, so that's a bit unfortunate. But the fortunate factor is that we have been left on a red, a colour here, sorry. I might as well just play this with some top, to be quite honest. No point trying to screw back. I think this is pretty much a straight pot, so I think a bit of luck comes into this. But the idea of the shot's right.
That was a hard shot.
There we go. Pink's dropped. Now this red, which I will show you which one I'm going for. This will need quite a fine cut to go into this pocket. But once again, a bit of a shot to nothing because we can get it round these reds. But of course we need quite a strong shot here in terms of power, considering that... oh, that was close. Considering that we need to get it back to a sensible position. But nonetheless, we didn't get it. But luckily we didn't get the black either. And I think he's played something similar there, but not really done it. So it seems, unlike the last frame, there might be a bit of a safety battle. But that is a red that looks nice to me. So I'm going to try and give this a good whack and get it back up the table. Oh, why have I done that for? I said cut out the mistakes, and we didn't make many mistakes in that first frame. What a plonker. But we have got the confidence that, you know, we won't be punished for that one mistake. Because he's just played an awful shot there. So soft is the key, although we're not going to play this one soft because we can't really get on the bottom cushion because we will be... won't leave a pot on of any kind. But oh my goodness me, we've gone to pot. Pardon the pun again. We've just gone to pot. Can't pot anything again. I mean, can you believe it? Last frame we had a really good break, you know, really good start. By our standards anyway, not by anybody's standards, just ours. But by our standards, a really good start. And this frame we've had 2 quite obvious pots, and I think in any other frame we'd have potted, but in this one it failed to happen. Right, let's get this then. 3rd time lucky. Nothing too hard. Let's just get the pot on the board.
1.
There we go. Phew. Right, let's focus on something else now. Let's focus on the yellow. Get the yellow. Again, it's a tricky pot, really. It's a long pot. But I think it's fairly well placed.
That's good. Let's see if he
That's another 2 points for ourselves. And there might well be another red on here. So we can start to build a break here. But a lot of focus needed. Now, if I was going to be really risky, I'd pelt this and try to develop the reds. But we want a mix of both. But I think we'll get the pot here, and we will.
Spin on that.
The cue ball... little bit dodgy there, but oh well. Right, where do we go for here? Yeah, I think safety shot is the best bet, to be quite honest. So the brown will be the shot of choice, and we will just hit this very gently and hopefully get it somewhere that resembles the bulk. But that is possibly the worst safety shot I've ever seen. I think the problem is the pace of these tables and WSC09, which I play a lot of, differ quite a bit. But no, here we go. Now, if you didn't see a few episodes ago when I put my classic John Virgo lines in, I'm going to just put this in my notes now to put this in later. I will put his famous quote about R. Terry in a little bit later. So I've got that down to put in, and if I don't put it in, well, I've been a naughty boy. But let's get back to the snooker. Right.
Just have a look at this again.
Yeah, of course, when we were playing, John, there was no such thing as slow motion cameras.
Well, we had Terry Griffiths.
Settle down, please.
Not really much on here, is there? I might be doing something really stupid here, but I'm just going to play it up to the red. I don't see any pot on, but my eyes might be different to Robin's. He might sense an opportunity here. And he's just whacked the reds. Oh, he's fluked one.
He's behind.
Way! Well, if you were watching that right middle pocket, he fluked one. But justice was served, really, in that he potted the blue as well. I'm just going to check there is a pot on here, and there certainly will be. Somewhere, although I am failing to see where the pot is, but this will be the one. Yeah, no need to force him to continue. There's a good enough chance for us here. And I think Robin has given us a chance once again to win another frame. We'll take the brown here. It's not about daring shots, not particularly about scoring the most points. It's about building breaks and staying on the table.
5.
That's a good shot. That red will go into the middle this time.
Wide choice of reds on the table.
Hopefully this one will just go against the cushion and not follow the red in.
6.
There we go. Couldn't have done it a bit better myself. A little bit softer actually. Just to make sure we were nicely on the blue. But just to check that does go. Like I say, I'm not a big fan of these shots. I am on 09 because they are easy to play. But on this game they are a little bit trickier. But it succeeds on that occasion. And yeah, we've got a good position on a... Oh, I completely forgot about that blue that was there. And that might just have mucked us up a tad. Mind you, does this red still get... No, of course it doesn't. Oh dear. Well, I really didn't think about this, did I? Well, just a thin shot then. And hopefully back up to bulk. But bulk might be a dangerous place to be with how the reds are set. But, oh, not hard enough. But in fact, we've pretty much left it exactly where it was before. So, unless... Oh, well, it wasn't exactly where it was before at all. It was much further towards the blue. And we left a pot on. That was just me being a bit clumsy there. And in fact, it's in the exact same position that I got the blue. So, he's going for the pink. I have a feeling he's going to miss this. But he's not. I'm wrong. I shouldn't have a bet today, should I, if I couldn't figure that one out. But once again, we have a situation very reminiscent to the first frame, where he's not really anywhere. We started to build up a good break. We were stopped in our tracks, probably by our own fault. But Robin, once again, has to pretty much clear up the table to have any hope of doing anything here. Yeah, poorly played, the pink was there. And now the colours are pretty much all in commission, which is a little bit of a problem because they're not where they traditionally are, so that does cause a little bit of an issue because we might get snookered where we don't expect it and we can't play conventional shots like we usually do, but alas, we should be alright. We'll take the pink though here. This looks like a good solid shot into the right pocket. Good whack there, and we hit the black on the way through for good measure, but really, is there any position to speak of? This is a nasty shot, isn't it? I think middle pocket's what they're going for. Yeah, I would go for middle here. I think that, funnily enough, although I don't tend to say this, there is probably a higher chance of this going into the middle than there is the bottom. So we'll play that. Although we should have really looked to where the cue ball was going to go. Is there a reason? Oh, about to say. We've just missed that. That was a bit unfortunate. I was really worried why it was focused on this pocket. I thought the cue ball was going to just sail right in. But fortunately, once again, we haven't left anything on here. And he's going to get the finish to touches on that red. But don't really understand why, because we can just pot it from here. Much easier pot than last time, blimey. Get a bit of screw on that. Just a tad, you know, this will go all over the place, this will, but as long as we've got the pot, I'm not fussed. There we go, we've got the pot.
Superb technique there.
Thank you very much, John. Now, we either go safe and go for the yellow or go for the long pot of the black. And I think the black might well go here, so... Yeah, we'll go with the black and try and play a bit of screw back. Well, it's going to have to be quite a hard shot to do that, so we're going to go for this.
Unforced error.
Oh, it's just missed. Probably just too hard. But once again, nothing easy left on for Robin. Although he will probably pot this. Yeah, he's been out of the table for long enough to rekindle. We've probably spent them, I'd say probably 80-90% of the time at the table. But that's a poor pot. Ooh, that's a tricky one, that is. But it is going to be this one that's the shot of choice. It's a tricky one, this. No, it hasn't dropped. Well, I've been victim to that a number of times. And it's so frustrating when it happens. But Robin Macallum obviously doesn't know how to use backspin.
Being able to put the cue ball anywhere in the D.
Well, we know what we're going to do now. Robin Macallum can continue from there. We're 28 ahead. He needs 35. Because that's what is available on the table. He's just belted that red. Luckily, he's left it safe. But we're just going to play safe again. If he wants to play this game, I'm quite happy to. Because this will lead to us being 2-0 up in this session. And a lot closer to the British Open final title than we would have been at the start of the episode. Well, he's left a tempter on here. And the pot is probably better than trying a safety. So we might as well go for this. And if it drops, and we get a colour, it has dropped. All we need is a colour now, and the frame is all done. And that colour looks like it will be the black. Now, will he go for snookers after this? That's probably debatable. I would doubt it. Although we've snookered, well, I was about to say, we nearly snookered ourselves there. But, yeah, 36 points ahead with 27 available. We're just going to give this a good whack. But I don't think he will play on a bit... well, he might do, but the yellow's dropped as well. A bit fortunate there. But we'll just put it up behind the green. We're 38 ahead. There's, what, 25 to play for. If he plays on here, I would just get on with the next frame if I was Robin Macallum. Been quite a blip, and I talked before about how none of us had found any sort of consistency, any sort of a run. But we've done it these two frames. You know, we've won 2 in a row. That's something that hasn't been done apart from the start of the game. And well, we've gone a lot closer than we were before. I think 6-3 is definitely a more comfortable scoreline than 4-3. That's certainly a fact. No fiction involved in that. No dispute about that. I don't think this cue ball goes in. No, we're okay. The green hasn't dropped, but surely he won't bother playing on now. Considering even how he played that red here, and he played the red, and it went into the pocket. But he's mastered that trade now. Funny how John said it was to roll it behind the green. Well, he's managed to pot that, and then he's had enough. Well, would you believe it? Robin Macallum, though, with the frame 10 break. I don't think we played 10 frames, actually, before. This is our first 10-frame game, in terms of actually playing 10 frames. Okay, we played best of 11s, of course, but we've never actually got to this point, so another frame here would be absolutely crucial. And I think that's what we will probably get, but this is a tricky shot. I don't like these. I think I'm just going to play the simple one. No risk, really, here. Just put it up to the pack. And don't bother doing anything else with it. But if we do win this frame, we will call this the end of today's episode. Just so in the next one, it is a bit exciting. I don't really want to do a final episode of just, well, we're 8-3 up. Well, I don't really want to do that, in that we've only got to win the one frame. That would be a bit of a shame, wouldn't it? So in light of that, if we do win this, this will be the last frame. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this, because it'll just hint this will how long the episode will be, but surely you guys are that invested in it that you're not focused on the time, you're just focused on
He can improve
watching
the angle
the
here with
snooker
some
journey.
side off the cushion.
But it's not going to be as easy as that. We've made quite a poor shot there, actually, and he might get a pot, but somehow he's just gone for that, and goodness knows why. And he's just developed the reds like no tomorrow, but amazingly, even though he's managed to do that, he's got away with it. Goodness knows how, but he has. So we're going to hit this one. Make sure we get no foul for missing a red. This is way too hard. This is way too hard. Have we actually been a bit lucky there? No, we haven't. Of course we haven't. It's that one goes past the black. I wouldn't have thought it would have done, but looking from earlier. But he does get the first pot of the frame. Now can Robin Macallum build up a good break and we'll be the chasing player. No, he's missed that black straight away, and that was an absolute mile off. Crazy. Absolute bonkers. Right. Now, this might look like an absolutely stupid shot. However, I don't fancy my chances of getting onto the black or the pink. So if we do that, then there's a chance to get onto another colour. And I'd rather stay on the table than really risk a pot. So this yellow will go on. I prefer this pot a lot more to the black or pink that were potentially on offer.
This is a good start. There's a big break on here.
And we haven't done half bad there. And I think I can see a pot on. This might be... see, it might be a plant, but do I go for it? I'm not going to risk it at this point. Particularly so early on in the frame where the reds could well be developed quite quickly. But of course we've got to do that at some point. We're not going to win frames by getting red, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow. I mean, we've put the black out commission ourselves there. That's quite funny. But pink could go, but it's not going to, let's be honest. Try the brown. Don't think it's anywhere near, but we can always give it a go. Will he really pot this red on the cushion? I doubt it. Unless he's brave enough to go for this potential plant that's on here. Yep, he's going to go for this one across the cushion. But once again, it's absolutely way off. But has he been very jammy and not given us an easy pot here? I bet he has. In fact, of course he has. Don't know why I had to even dispute that. Haha. Well, I wouldn't have seen that at first, I must admit. Straight pots should be fine. He says. There we go, it's dropped. Good stuff.
I take the blue for position here.
I know he'd take the blue. Hang on. Oh, fair enough. No, I'm actually not going to play the blue because I think there's even a chance of that missing. But the yellow, it's quite conclusive that it's a straight pot. There's no real messing, is there? You know, I don't think there's any problem with that. But we're just going to make sure we play no side. We don't want any side because the board goes mad if you play with any side on this match. So in light of that, we're going to play it with a little bit of backspin just to move the cue ball away from the pocket, but the yellow is right in the heart, and just that little bit of backspin has been the difference between the cue ball following it in and it not. Yeah, position on the black would be a fair thing to go for now. It's not been the biggest break ever, but I think we've played quite well there. And that's nicely on the black. Now hopefully we can get some sort of position on the reds here. Trying to maybe get some screw back. Because that red's nicely placed.
Nice pot on the black.
Potted the black, good stuff. Oh, we've managed to develop a red here, and that looks quite nice. And we're going to pelt this. Hold on, should make sure we get it right. The pot and the position anyway. No, not the position. Yeah, it is the position even. We want to make sure we clatter these reds.
Nice clean pot.
Well, that didn't really go as I planned. I'm still learning my positional game. I thought it would clatter these reds, I must admit. Now we either take on the tricky black, which could be a break ender, which I'm not fussed about the personal accolades of the break, I just want to stay on the table. Or we go for the green, which is equally as hard, but the only real indicator we've got there is the red, but as you can see, we've gone for the green. Quick fire decision there. And it hasn't paid off. I don't know what we were doing there. But fortunately, once again, unless he goes for the one at the top of the table, which has to be a lot easier than I first imagined. Unless he goes for that one at the top, which he hasn't. This is a tricky pot. But somehow he can pot those, but not pot the easiest of shots. Well, we can sit back a little bit now, see what he does. Will he pot the blue? No, he's missed the blue. Hang on.
Oh, the red near the black seems quite
Right.
promising.
It does. Whether it drops or not, though, is another question. But that has been answered, and it's a no. Well, I thought I'd be a bit like Virgo there. Honestly, I thought, well, it's going to drop this. We've done well. I was wrong. But he's potted that one. And amazingly, with 7 reds left. Probably because of our strategy to play the yellow on many occasions. From the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. From the 8 reds, there's a combination of what? 22 points? Fantastic. Well, he's going to pot the other red here. And I think he's got his way wriggling back through to this frame, to be honest. Probably the poorest of the 3 frames we've played so far. Not particularly because of the score, but just the way we've played. Not really took the appropriate risks. Admittedly, the balls are running a little bit now for Robin, but potentially you could argue he's probably deserved to win one of the previous 2 of his resilience, and this might be the reward. Particularly as we've not built enough a good enough buffer between ourselves and Macallum here. But he's gone with our little strategy. Gone with the yellow. Lovely as you like.
Positioning on the pink might prove useful here.
And he's gone ahead in this frame. He's got the red, and well, he's not playing badly here. Pink should go, and to be honest, I don't see any opposition, if he negotiates his position correctly, of course, in potting these next 4 reds. And he's missed the colour. Well, that is quite unbelievable, but he hasn't really put himself in good position because we're going to struggle to make anything easy out of this. But if we can, as I said before, us like him should be able to do something here. But it is a tricky pot. I'm not a fan of these, but it has dropped just. Where's the cue ball? Okay. Now, does the pink go? No, the pink won't go. That's unfortunate. Now, it's either green... Ooh. I'm going to take the green down to the bottom. I fancy this. It didn't work when we went for the brown a few frames ago, but I'm going to take the risk here. And it's not going to come off, I don't think. No, it's not. But if we left anything... Yeah, we have. Well, I don't know about that. That's a fairly obvious one, I'd say. Yeah, he's well, fair play to him, you know. We got 1 red, but that's about all we got. We've given him this frame, and if he doesn't take it, well, he's a mug. The only problem I can see with his positional gain is his 2nd red. Pontoon's Holidays, half price this year, of course.
He'll probably take the pink again here.
Yeah, I'll take the pink, see what position he gets. Always missed the pink. Is he going to get the double on it? Well, he got something jammy like that last frame, to be quite honest. Not last frame, last episode. When he got a double out of nowhere, and he's going to pop the red. And if he gets the colour, he will be given the chance to wriggle back into this 3 frame lead, which we've got. This black, I'd say, is going to be fairly crucial. And alas, he's potted it. Well, I don't need to remind you, folks, if he does get the yellow, we have to clean up the rest of the balls on the table, and that should get a tie. Not the best position on the green. We have got a chance here, of course, we can use snookers, but have you ever seen us honestly snooker a player? You know, I think he'll get this green, though. Yeah, he's potted the green, fair play to him.
I wonder how this
and Robin Macallum gets a frame back. Ooh, that's not dropped, but we're going to concede there. There's no point us carrying on. And although it's a bit of a shorter episode today, I am going to leave it there because I do think that we could have 5 sessions in this match. Be certainly interesting. We'll see how we get on. The PS2 cable stuck under my chair. There we go. At the end of the day, it could be the last session next episode. We need 3 out of the 4 frames next time round, and I think we can do that the way we've played. But it might well be a 5 session thing. But I think with the run at the mill at the moment, it would be a good place to end there. So Sunday, I will be doing a YouTube premiere for that video at 6 PM, so make sure to tune into that. I'm sure that'll be really exciting. I might be around, but there might be other things on. I'm trying to think. I don't think I want to watch Countryfile on this Sunday, so I might be alright. Don't worry, I don't watch Countryfile. But anyway, that's completely unrelated to snooker. But I hope you guys have enjoyed. A bit of a shorter episode, compensate for that massive one we released on Tuesday. But thank you very much for watching, folks. I have been TIJ Gaming, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye for now.